Hey everybody, it's Christopher Small with CMS Law Firm coming at you live from Snowpocalypse 2.0. It's actually started snowing pretty hard, and I'm in the office, and I wanted to come and sort of drop some information for you real quick before I got out of here. And it's a question that I get all the time, and I think it's a question that's got some a certain level of sort of mythology around it or misinformation. People don't exactly always know what's going on, and again, my priority is for people to always make informed decisions, to always know what's going on for real life, and that's what we're going to talk about today. So the question, or the issue that we're talking about is, what happens if you die without a will? And sometimes people don't really understand what that means or what happens in that context. So first things first, if you die without a will, to just get this off the table, the state does not get all of your stuff. Nothing goes to the state, okay? Unless you owe estate taxes, which you would owe whether you had a will or not, nothing goes to the state, okay? So you don't have to worry about that. It's going to get to your family in one way or another. The downside to not having a will is that you don't get to pick. There's just a specific order, the way that things go, and if somebody falls into a category, they're gonna get the whole thing, okay? If there's no people, you just keep going down until you get to the bottom. I guess if you got all the way to the end, then eventually the state would, I guess, get the money if you had no family, like zero. And this extends out pretty far. So let's just run through that real quick. I'll tell you what it is. So if you, let's start at the top. So if you die and you are married and you have only community property, okay? Which means if you have really pretty much accumulated all your property after you're married, okay? Your spouse is gonna get everything, okay? Nothing goes to the kids, it all goes to the spouse. If you have separate property, which means, let's say you bought a house before you got married and you owned it and it's yours. If you have separate property and you're married and you die and you don't have a will, then your spouse is going to get all of your community property, and your kids are going to get 25% of your separate property, and your spouse is going to get 75% of that property, I believe. Could be 50%, kind of spitballing it here, going fast. But in any event, the separate property gets split up between the kids and the spouse. If you have no spouse, if you die and you don't have a spouse, but you have kids, it all goes to the kids. If you die and you have no spouse and no kids, then it goes to your parents, okay? So this is the order, right? And it all goes to that level, okay? So if you have a spouse and you have community property, bam, it's all there. It doesn't get any lower. Even if you really wanted to, even if you told everybody you wanted it to, even if you write it on a piece of paper, it doesn't matter. It has to be a valid will for these things to happen, okay? After your parents, it's siblings. After your siblings, I believe it's your siblings' kids. After your siblings' kids, I believe it is your aunts and uncles. After that, I believe it's your aunts and uncles' kids, which will be your cousins. And then it just sort of extends out maybe a couple more rows, and then it goes to the state. Okay, so that's the long and short of it. If you don't have a will and you die, that's where it all goes, okay? The person that's in charge of your estate, you also don't get to pick. A judge will pick, and it typically is just whoever sort of raises their hand and says I'm willing to do it. They're gonna get paid a little bit. They're gonna be responsible for accumulating your assets, accumulating your debts, paying your debts, and distributing your assets, okay? But without a will, right, the biggest downfall is that you don't get to pick who gets your stuff. So in certain scenarios, that could be a really big problem because, for example, I just read an article about this, by the way. So there's this family in Boston, and the guy had been, I think they must not have been married. I didn't read all the way through the article, to be honest with you. I just sort of read, I just know the gist of it. The guy was living with this family for a long time, like 30 years, and they did not get married, okay? And he died. I think he died unexpectedly, or he died without a will. And so the house that they were living in actually went to some of his distant relatives that didn't even know his family. I don't even think they knew him. So basically he dies, the family is crushed, they're sad, they're trying to figure out how to deal with this just generally. And then these distant relatives are like, get out of the house. We are selling the house. It's ours. So you gotta go. Don't let the door hit you in the butt on the way out, kind of a thing. You don't gotta, what do they say? What do they say when you kick you out of the bar? I don't care where you go, but you can't stay here, kind of thing, right? It's not cool, not cool at all. But these are some of the unintended consequences of not having your estate plan put together, all right? And this may not happen to you, it probably won't happen to most people, but sometimes you just don't know until it happens, and then there's nothing you can really do about it, all right? So that's it. Christopher Small with CMS Law Firm. If you like this video, hit the like button. If you know somebody that needs to hear this, share it with them. If you need help, if you're like, hey, I need a will, you can go to cmslawfirm.com/strategy session. Or you can go to, you can call me, 206-659-1512. All right, if you have probate, if somebody's passed away, now you're trying to deal with the probate, we can help you with that too, all right? But in any event, I'll pretty much talk to everybody for at least a little bit and let you know what's going on, let you know if we can help you, give you some answers, give you some information that you need to make a decision, and then we'll go from there. All right, so hopefully you enjoy this video. Have a great day. Avoid the snowpocalypse. Don't believe the hype. I don't think it's gonna be that bad, even though it's snowing like crazy right now. And we'll see you probably tomorrow because I'm hopping on here every day. Okay, have a great day. Bye.